What is going on, fellow degenerates? Welcome back to another edition of Easy Money Gambling. It is week 1 of college football, baby. Week 0 was a good appetizer, but now we got the full slate of games. All the great teams are playing, and we got some big-time matchups coming up this week. We're going to break down our top 3 plays for this weekend. Starting Thursday night with West Virginia versus Pitt. I absolutely love the over in this game at 52.5. West Virginia has a new gunslinger in JT Daniels, who I know has been kind of a journeyman. He was the starter at Georgia last year until he got hurt. Chip on his shoulder. The guy, when he's on, is extremely freaking talented. He's going to put up some big numbers in an offense that showed flashes last year of being pretty good, but was pretty inconsistent. Against a pretty weak Pitt secondary, I'm expecting him to go off, and I think they're going to get a lot of points. On the other side, Pittsburgh has Kedon Slovis, the former USC quarterback, leading the way for them. This offense returns all 5 starting linemen, I think, up front from an offense that was fairly explosive last year and pretty well balanced. I'm expecting a lot of the same this year. And they're also going against a West Virginia defense that just can be considered average at best. I'm looking at this game, both teams to get in the low 30s, and I'm thinking they're going to hit that easy. Next game on the docket is North Carolina versus Appalachian State. This is another game where I absolutely love the over at 56. North Carolina played in week 0, and yes, they did score 56 points, but that game was a dogfight for a lot of that game. They have a lot of weapons on offense, led by Josh Downs, who I think is one of the best receivers in the country. This team is going to have to score a lot of points this year, and I do think they have the capability to do it. And I do think they're going to be able to score against Appalachian State. On the flip side, North Carolina's defense is abysmal. They look awful again. I know they got a new defensive coordinator this year, and maybe they will get better as the season goes on, but in week 2 against a pretty good Appalachian State offense, they're probably going to get torched. So I love this over again at 56. And then the last game I have is Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Notre Dame with the points, baby. I could probably sit here for a full hour and tell you why Notre Dame can cover that spread. But my biggest reasoning is Brian Kelly is not fucking here anymore. That guy was the worst game day coach in big games. You can just look at the history of it. Marcus Freeman is the unknown, I get it, but anything would be better than what Brian Kelly produced in big games in his tenure at Notre Dame. ND's improved up front. They have a great defense, and they're going to be able to score on an Ohio State defense that, yes, has a great new defensive coordinator, but again, they might not show improvement until later on in the season. So I fully expect Notre Dame to run the ball extremely well and score a lot of points here. Yes, Ohio State's offense is probably one of the best in the country, if not the best, and they have 3 potential Heisman candidates. I'm not saying Notre Dame's going to win, but 17.5 is just plain disrespectful. Notre Dame covers that, and I like the over in this game at 58.5. Both teams are going to score. Both teams are going to get in the 30s, so I think that's a lock too. All right, everyone, those are my top picks for week 1 of college football season. As always, please like and subscribe, and we will be back next week with more picks for college football and the NFL.